Donald Trump tapping into his role as peacemaker again today, bringing the leaders of two African governments here to the White House and signing a peace agreement between the Congo and Rwanda. There has been a decades-long conflict there, and the fighting even continues into today. But the president says he is confident that the leaders will be able to maintain this peace.
We have come to the U.S. Institute of Peace to sign a historic agreement that will end one of the longest-running conflicts anywhere in the world.
When you look closely at this moment in the White House, you can feel two forces pulling in opposite directions: diplomacy and economics. On one hand, Donald Trump presents himself as the peacemaker, bringing two nations with a long and painful history of conflict to the signing table. On the other hand, his language reveals something else entirely: a commercial undertone that frames peace as a business asset. The emphasis on rare earth minerals, investment opportunities, and big American companies being sent over suggests this wasn't simply about ending violence. It was about expanding U.S. influence in one of the most resource-rich regions in the world. And that dual message matters, because when peace becomes a gateway to profit, the question becomes, whose interests are really being protected? The people suffering through conflict, or the investors watching from afar? Before we dive into the full story, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Now, all that in mind, let's walk through the clips to the show, and along the way I will break down not just what was said, but what was really going on in the next studio. Now let's get into it.
President Donald Trump tapping into his role as peacemaker again today, bringing the leaders of two African governments here to the White House and signing a peace agreement between the Congo and Rwanda. There has been a decades-long conflict there, and the fighting even continues into today. But the president says he is confident that the leaders will be able to maintain this peace.
We have come to the U.S. Institute of Peace to sign a historic agreement that will end one of the longest-running conflicts anywhere in the world.
The president big on peace deals and business deals, too. He reached economic agreements with the Congo and Rwanda today. He says that there are plenty of American businesses that want to invest in that region.
And we'll be involved with sending some of our biggest and greatest companies over to the two countries, and we're going to take out some of the rare earth and take out some of the assets and pay, and everybody's going to make a lot of money.
In the clip, Trump carefully stages himself at the center of global diplomacy, shaping the moment as evidence of his leadership on the world stage. But the optics tell a more complicated story. Rwanda and the DRC arrive representing decades of instability, displacement, and unresolved grievances, yet the White House narrative quickly shifts toward American business gains. The president doesn't just talk about peace, he talks about taking out rare earths and making a lot of money. Those phrases reveal the deeper political strategy. Tie humanitarian solutions to economic incentives so the deal appears beneficial both morally and financially. It's a classic political balancing act. Present yourself as the stabilizer while ensuring your own national interests stay front and center. Whether this peace lasts is another question entirely, and it depends on whether the motives behind it were genuinely diplomatic or quietly transactional.
See the rare earth minerals as a big investment that could be lucrative here in the U.S. as well.
This agreement might be framed as historic, but the layers beneath it tell a more revealing story about how major powers operate. Trump positions the U.S. as the broker capable of ending one of Africa's longest-running conflicts. A bold claim considering how complex the region's history truly is. Yet even as he speaks about peace, he quickly pivots to American business opportunities, signaling that stability is valuable only when tied to economic extraction. Rare earth minerals, in particular, are hugely significant in global technology supply chains, giving the U.S. a strong incentive to deepen its influence in the region. This creates a tension. Can a peace deal built partly on commercial interests produce lasting stability? Or does it risk reducing African sovereignty to a bargaining chip in a larger geopolitical game? The answers depend on what happens long after the cameras stop rolling.